final frontier.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement.
So, this is Searching for Truth, and I just wanted to make a little video about us being lied to. So, how could the astronauts travel through the Van Allen radiation belt in the 60s in a tin can? It doesn't quite make sense because now we've gotten to where we're going to go to Mars, and they had to build these special rockets to get through the Van Allen radiation belts, which those radiation belts have supposedly been there the entire time. And in fact, I will post a link in the description below of one of the guys that was an astronaut way back in the day who said that they went through the Van Allen radiation belt and didn't notice it. This is what the Van Allen radiation belt supposedly looks like. Basically, they're admitting that there's a barrier above us, that they can't get through it. That's what they're saying. So, in truth and honesty, they're admitting a firmament, they're just not calling it that. This is what we use to travel through that radiation belt. You really think that that would hold up to all that pressure and radiation? I don't think so. Why can't we go back to the moon with all this advanced technology that we have today? Does that make any sense? You can watch a video at the palm of your hand, or do anything else with an app, but yet we don't have enough technology to travel back to the moon? That doesn't quite make sense. They can send a car into space, but we can't go land on the moon. In fact, Don Pettit was actually quoted, and I'll leave that linked up below. "I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do so anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it is a painful process to build it back." That doesn't make any sense at all. You really got to think about this, though, guys. It makes no sense. In fact, they also talk about how they lost the tapes of the moonwalks and things like that. They lost all that stuff too. All of a sudden, it disappeared. This is a little joke here. If we really went to the moon in the 60s, we would be building hotels up there by now. And it's true, if you think about it, with all the technology we have. How did an astronaut almost drown in his spacesuit in the dry vacuum of space? It's a good question. It was an Italian astronaut who was doing a spacewalk at the ISS who somehow was able to get water droplets. They say he got water droplets into his spacesuit and almost drowned. They now will equip every spacesuit with a snorkel, even though they're supposed to be in a vacuum. That doesn't make any sense, guys. He said he felt something was wrong, his unexpected sensation of water at the back of his neck. He forced himself to stay calm. The water has almost completely covered the front of my visor, sticking to it and obscuring my vision. Maybe this is why he almost drowned in space. Because he wasn't in space. He was in a pool. That's the ISS. That's where they train, so they can get the feel of weightlessness. But truthfully, it probably is where the ISS really is. They're not in space, guys. This is how they make it look like they're in space. They can black it out, kind of like green screens and things like that. Could that explain why there are air bubbles seen in several different spacewalks floating up around the astronauts? So I'm going to leave some links below about that as well. They'll be in the pool, and you see the bubbles. Well, around the space guys, there'll be bubbles floating around them. It doesn't make any sense. Why do the women in the ISS look like they stuck their finger in a light socket? It's true. And the reason that it is because they get perms before they go onto the ship. If they were floating around and their hair was going to get in the way, they should be pulling it back. It should be a requirement that they have either short hair or have it pulled back so it doesn't get caught and stuff. But yet, they want you to think that they're in space, so they make the women do this to their hair. That doesn't look natural at all. It's a weird perm that she got, and she's sticking her hair straight out. Same with this woman. And this one. I did some research on zero gravity planes, and this is actually how hair should look in a weightless environment. Kind of floating around, it moves up and down like that. That other crap, it's fake. See? It floats around. Just think for yourself, guys. Check out the links below. I appreciate you taking the time.